8:01 p.m. We had a bye week last week, and oh, what a week it was. We're back. I'm Ryan.
I'm Richard.
Here we go.
The Oppenheimer Project.
Richard, before I start talking, just going off on multiple tangents, what did you do this weekend? I didn't know you were going to a con. Was that last minute or did I miss it?
You just missed it.
Yeah.
You missed it. Why? You seemed awfully distracted the last few weeks. What's up?
Oh, just opening a hotel. That was tons of fun. It still is tons of fun.
I
And then I
imagine,
was
yeah.
like,
I
and then
imagine
I
it's
was like,
going
hey,
to
wait,
continue.
Richard's in DC. I was like, what the heck? When did I miss this? I was like, I feel like a horrible friend, a horrible co-host.
No, not at all. I know that this was a busy weekend for you. Do you want to, while I do all my little sharing, do you want to tell us a little bit about what it's been like uh, for those who need the background, which is probably no one listening currently live. If you're listening later on, yeah. So Ryan worked in hospitality, worked in New York hotels, and then March of 2020, you just stopped going into work. I can't remember why.
Yeah, there was something like a bug, a virus going around,
Okay.
and they
Oh,
told
so
us we couldn't go back.
people were worried about getting sick. Okay. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Oh, you want to hear something funny now that like
I
time has
do.
passed? My hotel at the time was listed as the first case in the U.S. or New York
That's
or something.
yeah. Like you said, time has passed. So yes,
Yeah,
less. Right.
so like now I can say because I remember that originally it was like whoa, 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 whoa. But yeah, so my one of my hotels back in the pandemic had like the first confirmed case or something like that. But yeah, since then, um, furloughed. Didn't even know what that word was until the pandemic. Did you?
Probably, but yeah, did not. Yeah, not as widely as it came up.
Yeah, so I learned what the word furlough meant. Had the twins, got some time off, opening the hotel. I applied for a loss prevention officer position, got the position. The opening got pushed back, pushed back, pushed back, and then we opened up one of the hotels. We do have two hotels in one building. And then we were opening up this hotel and we knew we had a date in mind. We were like, we have to open on this date. It's been 4 years. Like we'll be able to go. Let's go. But they didn't know they were going to have banquets until like a month before. And they were like, we need somebody. And I applied for the position, had the experience, and I got the position. And now I'm part of the opening team, part of senior leadership, tons of fun. But the last 2 weeks, definitely, and I put this on Facebook, and I've been telling my friends and family, if I ever experience something more challenging in my career, I'll be very surprised. Very tough, lots of fun, still lots of work to do, but I mean, I can see it in my eyes looking at the screen. It's been a whirlwind.
Sure. Yeah. And so was a sorry, soft opening or it was
Yeah, so soft opening in the sense that we're still working on some of the rooms as we go,
okay?
but we had like enough rooms to be like, let's get this started. We can get it going, and we're here, man. We're operating.
No.
The lobby's open. Lobby's cranking. Got DJs, all sorts of fun stuff going on, and we're here.
Yeah, we Ryan and I will often talk about. If those of you who know Ryan know Ryan, I don't know how you sleep. His mind is always moving. He's always thinking about things. Whereas the world's kicked me a couple times, and while I'm up and I'm moving, I'm very more a little more not pessimistic, but just cautious. And I can't tell you, it's so interesting when I drive down the road and I see a new business start, and I'm like, yeah, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You know, the most specific example I can think of is uh, it was like, I think last summer, and I haven't seen anything of it since. There was this store that was opening up, and it was like popcorn store, like
Okay.
make
Yeah.
popcorn baskets. And it was just like, it was a storefront selling, like artisanal popcorn and stuff like that. And it's just like, oh my God, like, what are you thinking, crazy? And I
I know.
remember, and one of my friends is, I remember calling and make joking about it. I don't want to say making fun of it, but like joking about it because I'm like, if you called me up and said you wanted to do this, I'd support you like crazy. I'd share your page. I'd be like, oh my God, what a G.
Yeah.
But it's this weird thing of like, I'm saying all this to say like, yeah, Yet again, I'm sure this family putting all their money into a business like this popcorn venture is a lot different than the Marriott's. If the W fails tomorrow, oh well, it's a tick on an item line of. So, but I know they want it to be that kind of upscale hotel that, as a frequent Marriott stayer, stayed at the Marriott Renaissance in DC this weekend. Like I know that I can get hotels for a certain price, and I'm not getting a hotel at the W for anything less than anything cheap anytime soon. Because I kept going like, oh, maybe this would be something I can bring Shanna to for a weekend before school starts. Nope, not at that price. Maybe her birthday weekend, maybe teacher convention weekend, maybe Christmas. No, all right, me. So, 2023. Look for our podcast called My Weekend at the W. Which at that point, yeah, right. So, how I spent $1,000 on a weekend at the W, but
and it was easy.
Yeah, and again, a podcast all to itself, as we all often say in this show, is hotels and vacations. And when you pay that money to stay at a hotel, for the most part, you're in it for 8 hours. Not, you should be in that hotel for, but as Shanna would gladly, she's not currently listening, but she would gladly jump on. So Ryan had alluded earlier, we were at a comic book convention, our second one, our huge one rather of the summer. And we'll talk more about that later on. But when Shanna started coming to shows with us, David and I would stay at a tent on the side of the road. We would stay at a Super 7 because like the Super 8 costs $10 more. And that smell. Anyone who's ever been in enough hotels, that smell of detergent. It's not bleach.
Yeah.
It's like we've just washed all the sheets in one batch. That smell. And Shanna, I think, put up with it for like a summer, and then she was like, "Yeah, no, we're staying at better hotels." So we stay at better hotels, and and while we were at the Marriott Renaissance this weekend, people went and watched movies.
They did.
Did
they watch?
They did.
Oh wait, sorry, my daughter just airlit. She drone dropped my Red Bull that took forever. Thank you, dear. Hold on, she's gonna come around and say hi.
I was gonna say these kids are so natural in front of the cameras.
That's actually another podcast that I know that you would love to talk about. Is like, and I'm just gonna say it without getting off on a tangent. But it will be like, "What are you going out to do? We're going down the lake. Oh, you guys gonna like play or no? We're gonna take pictures."
Yeah, right.
I'm like,
right,
what?
Right.
I'm like, okay, so, but yeah, so movies.
There were movies, yes.
Is this news with Richard?
I was gonna say there is no formal news with Richard today, but I'm gonna fake it. So yeah, if you need to run.
Yeah, we're gonna run the reel. Hold on, everybody. So like Richard just said, there's probably going to be no formal news. He was busy this weekend. I was busy this weekend, but we wanted to get back here and do our podcast because we love doing it. That's one of the reasons. But I want to say something, and then hopefully I think you'll definitely have some dialogue to lead into the numbers and things like that.
Absolutely. The numbers game is interesting.
So that post I posted about, or that article I posted about Hugh Jackman's new film, Reminiscence, I think. Right. I have felt that for a long time. Like, unless you like, I feel like news stories have to face the struggle of who am I pulling in? Who am I appealing to? Where, remember back in the day, you would be like, oh, I like this actor. The trailer looks good. Story looks cool, different. I'll go see it. Where now it's just like, nah, you know what I mean? What do you think about that as we go? Into the numbers?
I think it's a great topic, and I think I think the first Ryan Mercer project with Richard Masso drinking game that people could probably do is every time we say, here's another podcast topic for another time, and then you have to drink. We don't say it that much, maybe it's just a shot. Everyone screamed, oh, hey, did you see they're doing illegally, actually, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it in the second news segment, but I'll use an example. They're going to do a Beverly Hills Cop 4. Can you believe that? Oh, they did Coming to America too. Like, there's no original ideas. Why can't somebody just put out an original idea? So the people behind, Yeah, the people behind what is it called? Reminiscent.
Reminiscence, I
Yeah,
believe.
Reminiscence. Hey, they said, oh, you know what? Here's a new idea. We're not doing a remake. We're not doing a reboot. We're not doing a sequel. We somebody came up with a neat idea. I
We
mean,
got a strong lead man.
yeah, we have a strong lead. Yeah, and I'll be honest, I don't quite get it, like where the memories went and everything. But first time, I'm sure I saw Memento or certain of the different, weird, Christopher Nolan's. All of Christopher Nolan's movies are a little like, what's going on here?
Yeah, definitely.
But they're original ideas, and that's what people scream about. And then when you come out with an original idea, we don't see it because I'm not going to say the name of this movie. I don't know it because it's not in my top 5 this week. So that's the craziness. So number 1 was Free Guy, and it was like Free Guy was number 1 for the second week in a row. And I was like, oh right, we skipped a week, so I forgot we skipped a week. So pulled in 18.8 million, which is a respectable. Paw Patrol was second with 13.1. Jungle Cruise, Don't Breathe, and Respect finishing out the top 5. The Aretha Franklin biopic.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so again, it's the summer is always like when it winds down these last few weeks, it's tough. Like next week, Candyman's coming out, and that's the most named movie.
A remake. See, there we go.
Yeah, Candyman remake, and then in 2 weeks we have Shang-Chi. So, which next week I believe we will discuss more Shang-Chi and more of the idea of and then here's the idea, like where it's the continual repetitiveness of the news. You could watch the Hugh Jackman movie on HBO Max. I have to make a decision in 2 weeks. Do I, is Shang-Chi available on Disney Plus? If it's not, am I going to the movie theater? If it is available for $30, do I buy it? Do I double, and again, it's that funny thing, like, do I double support it? Except that money's not going to those actors, necessarily, unless,
as we've learned.
Yes, unless Scarlett gets some traction going, some too. And again, Shang-Chi is the perfect movie where, like, those actors, that costs them nothing. Awkwafina is the most named actor that I know in the cast. I'm sure somebody will tell me there's someone else that's big, but so yeah, we will see. There's a part of me that kind of wants to go, even though I'm trying to avoid too many things. Like, I'd rather go and support them and have them do well. So, but again, so the movie's top 5. I think it will probably be a good year. Until next spring when we're really talking real numbers and normalcy again. Knock on, because if we're sitting here next summer still going, yeah, so the gamma variants got the
we really screwed up.
Right, we tried. Those Facebook down pages were not on target. Go ahead.
But real quick, hold on. Are you good? Is your volume good?
100% good. Yep.
It might be me. Hold on, I'm gonna turn it off. Hello, you there?
Yep.
You're a little fuzzy now. It might have been my video.
You tried to. Want me to leave and come back?
He's gonna leave and come back, ladies and gentlemen. I screwed it up. It'll only take him a second. Don't worry. He'll be right back. I screwed it up with the video footage. He's coming. Sorry. Just look at my face until he comes back. Wait, I hear him. Richard.
Yes, I'm back. Is that better?
You still sound like a robot.
Okay.
We're going to figure it out.
Who knows why? Who knows why anymore?
Now I can't hear you. I can't hear Richard. Oh, wait, hold on. Tim Moray is saying something. It didn't seem to have an effect for me, at least this time when you did the video to share. I thought I was good. I don't think I can hear movement. I can hear things.
And we're back. Everything is fixed.
You still sound like a robot. How can I help you?
If I told you no sound.
Okay. Huh?
I don't know.
It's my fault,
ladies and gentlemen. You must have to do this.
Richard.
Okay. There we are. We're better.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you still sound like a robot.
Right.
And we fixed it. Now it's better.
Almost.
Okay.
Try again. Do something again because you still sound like a robot, but you sound better. Like
Better.
louder.
Okay. Maybe if I just enunciate, or it'd be great if I knew how to do voices. I was just doing a robot voice the whole time. I will even come back. Ryan, while I'm gone, we'll talk a little bit about Beverly Hills Cop 4. And then
Yeah,
I'll
okay,
jump
that's
in.
something to do. So while Richard leaves and comes back, we're going to talk about Beverly Hills Cop 4. I'm excited. I am a huge Beverly Hills Cop fan. I'm one of those people that's like, before Richard Donner passed away, let's go with Lethal Weapon 5. Let's see people who were patrol officers or detectives getting promoted to inspector or chief or something like that. So I'm all about movies taking their stories to the next level, the next chapter, if that makes sense. And you're probably thinking to yourself, wait a minute, you just talked about how nobody comes up with original stories. I'm probably just as guilty as anybody else about movies and stories and things like that. So I will definitely watch the reboot or the edition or the sequel. I also like to try something new. Let's see if we got Richard here. I'm sorry. Richard.
Hello.
You still
Hello.
sound like
Am I still a robot?
you're still a robot.
Okay. I just won't say much. I'll just listen and sound like I'm throwing it. Maybe it'll clear up as we go on.
It could be me. Hold on.
Yeah, Tim Ray. Tim Ray, do I sound like a robot to you?
Does he sound like a robot, Tim? Are you
Okay.
Okay,
All
let's
right.
go with it.
Maybe it's
Richard
just
sounds good.
maybe it's the Red Bull and the long hours kicking in on your end.
It could be me. Hold on. Let's see. Hello?
Hello, how are you today?
You sound fine. We'll go with it.
All right.
Okay, so
sorry
it
about
sounds
that.
good to Monica and Tim, so we're going to roll with it.
So in the hotel room on Sunday morning, as we're getting ready to leave for the show, Beverly Hills Cop 3 was on HBO, and we kind of made a joke because Sundays are notoriously slow, like at the beginning of a Sunday show.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, the Beverly Hills 3 will be over at 10:20. Do we just watch it and go to the show late? And we joke, and of course it was slow. We did not make any money for till at least 11 o'clock or so. But we wound up talking a little bit about Beverly Hills and how often they have tried to do 4. They tried to do 4 a while ago. They've tried to do a TV show with like Axel Foley had a son.
That's what I thought was coming next, actually,
Yes.
now that you just said it.
Right, yeah. So they've tried, and it was almost like the young man who played Al. I'm going to get his name wrong, but he played the Al Pacino Booty Juice character in Tropic Thunder. He was that actor was going to be Axel Foley's son, and like they had photos done and everything set, and it just for whatever reason it did not work. So I'm sure the success of Coming to America 2 helped a little bit. Again, watching it this weekend, they were kind of running a marathon, so we saw 2 and 3. It feels old, like it felt dated watching it. A lot of the jokes were, so I'm sure they would 2021 it up with the jokes. But again, he is older now. He is much older now. So, but again, people will go see it, if it's on an Amazon Prime, people will watch it. So,
I just said it when I accidentally mistaken you for a robot while everybody else said you were good. I said that even when Richard Donner was, apparently lined up to do Lethal Weapon 5. Same thing with Beverly Hills Cop. Like, I will watch it. Like, let's see them become inspectors or chiefs. And, they have the young gun, but, they can't help themselves. So Danny Glover and Mel Gibson, tag along and something goes wrong,
right.
And then I'm like, wait, didn't I just say how, we need to start trying new movie ideas? Yeah. And it's like, I'm just as guilty. Like, the one thing that always comes to mind is I tried to watch Dunkirk. I got 30 minutes into it, turned it off, and then went and watched The Foreigner with Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan. And I was like, I'm guilty of picking the simple plot over the Academy Award-winning, slow-moving film. And I'm guilty of it sometimes. I can't lie.
Sure. I saw someone this week tweet, we've got to get rid of the word guilty pleasures and just kind of say, it is what it is. It's what you like, and
yeah.
And that's kind of this idea. And we're going to talk more about, like what you like and don't like what you like in our main topic. But that is the kind of thing, like, people complain And yeah, but I'll go watch the next Star Wars movie before I watch like, oh,
Something you
Jonas,
never heard of.
yeah, right. Like Jonas is struggling in college, so he gets sent to and he falls in love with the psychiatrist, and like, oh, again, the only time I watch them if they're nominated for an Oscar, and I'm trying to watch all the Oscar films, but I don't tend to pick them like that. All right, the last little kind of news story before we start talking about our main topic is this morning I got a text from Ryan. And it was a YouTube video and link, and I'm pretty sure I rolled over and went back to bed.
My bad. I was up. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Yeah. And then when I was doing my morning routine, where I'm looking through my cell phone, I'm seeing all these links for Spider-Man, rough copy of Spider-Man trailer hits, rough copy, and I'm like, oh, that's what Ryan was talking about. And I started to watch it. Looks horrendous. So I stopped. I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time with this.
You can't. Yeah.
This is dumb.
See it fully. Yeah.
And then somebody somehow they focus it. So for anyone who hasn't seen it, and I want to say it's not quite worth seeing. Someone filmed a cell phone, and not even filmed a cell phone well. Filmed it far away. But it shows other than the CGI and stuff having to be filled in. It gives the general plot of the new Spider-Man movie that's hitting in December. A lot, and we're bringing it up as a news story on this podcast because, at this point, if there had been a real San Diego Comic-Con, we would have got a teaser trailer. We would have gotten, at least some sort of trailer so far. So,
and it seemed real, right? The dialogue.
No, it's real. Yeah, and that's the other thing because a lot of people were like, "Oh, stop it!" And it's funny, a lot of people weren't clicking on it because they thought it was the fake trailer that's been running around for the last few months, where they combined all the movies. So we won't spoil it for anyone. Everything seems to point. If in 2 weeks Shang-Chi's coming out, it's either in front of that movie. Or
think about that, yeah.
But again, that's a smart, easy marketing to say, Spider-Man trailer only available, and you don't release it online, officially until the Monday. Give it 3 days of people wanting to go to the theater to see it. So, so that's interesting. So if you see a Spider-Man trailer out there, there is one where somebody's spliced together old movies and video game footage. But this one, you can definitely tell it's the right actors. It's got it's the plot we kind of thought was happening, but with a twist. So we are looking forward to it. But spending my day on Facebook reading some of the reactions and stuff to it, nobody just can be nice. So
nobody can be nice. You know what? I've heard that also people have trouble being nice, or I've noticed this in township Facebook groups. What do you think?
I think that's a podcast idea. Township Facebook pages. You want to talk about an all-time podcast idea where we don't have to do any prep. We don't have to have an outline. We can just talk about township Facebook pages. And if I may, what a great concept. I live in I live in Acco. How do you pronounce the name of your town?
Mount Ephraim.
Mount Ephraim. You live in Mount Ephraim? Oh my goodness. How cool is this? A couple cool people here have started a Facebook page so we can keep up on when the trash gets picked up, or if the kids are supposed to wear zany clothes to school. What a neat idea. I made a little private page for the I can't remember what they're called. Teachers. It's for the staff members of my school, and we have a little private page, and that is for oh, hey guys, tomorrow's Jeans Day, or hey guys, don't forget grades are due. I rarely do that crap, but we share each other, and again, it's private. We share. There's nobody says anything stupid. No one says anything dumb. But its main purpose is to be oh, it's zany sock day tomorrow, or hey, don't forget, we said we would do this. And it kind of fits that. Every once in a while, someone will be like, today was a long day, but there is no negativity. And again, part of it, I think, is because we all know we're going to see each other, tomorrow. And, we're not going to crap on each other. But guess what? That same rule should apply to a town, But so, Ryan, this ideal I have of a township Facebook page just being positive and a place to go to get your questions answered or to share information, How's that working out after 10 years of Facebook doing these things?
I must say that I'm thinking back to the you and Shannon were over for dinner, and people were talking in a certain Facebook township page that you and Monica and Shannon all follow.
Right.
And I had no idea how volatile it could be. And you explained that like somebody could say, "Oh, I bought," and this is the example, and I
Yeah.
never forget it. Somebody said, "I bought blue shoes at Joe's running shoe shop," and then you said the example would be like somebody would be like, "Oh, well, if you wear blue shoes, you're bound to get a dirt," and like just the people cannot help themselves with the negativity. Like, and yours was funny as hell today when you said, "Where can I get my car detailed?" Oh, go to Mike's down there. Oh no, Mike's my cousin's brother, son-in-law. He's a schmuck or whatever. It just turns into like you look. I love when you like see a post and you don't even have to like check it. You
Right.
just see
Yep.
58 comments and you're like, oh, it's gonna get
Yep.
real down here.
And that's perfect, because that's exactly when you know you're going to get some good reading. Is, if someone puts up there like, "Hey, looking for a place for power washing," and you see 3 comments, you're like, okay, move along. If you say looking for a place to get power washing and you see 58 comments, yeah, you're like, all right, something happened, something went wrong,
Something transpired.
And one of the problems with not having an outline or just kind of us talking is, we will go back and forth with our points. The idea here is, you asked me where to get your car detailed on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then someone writes Mike's car detail. But I know when I went to Mike's car details, he scratched my car.
Right.
So I got a couple choices. Say nothing, which I'm going to vote is the number one choice.
Sure, I agree.
Or go under that one, said, "Ryan, sending you a private message." Like, I don't know you from, so like,
I see
Ryan,
that too.
and then I send you a private message that says, "Hey, just a heads up. When I went to Mike's, he scratched the car. It was an accident, but when I reached out for some sort of he was mean to me. Like, I just want to give you a heads up. There's potential for problems." Like, you would want to know that, But option 3, which most people seem to pick on these Facebook township pages, is, and again, I'm sorry, option 3 could be you write a note that says, I had a bad situation with Mike's.
Right.
You put it out there, like, Mike, but most people pick the option 4, which is to just be like, I want to burn Mike's down. Mike will screw you up. Like, just be like nasty. It is just that, and again, it is just that funny thing. Like, do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. Or like, I really hope I'm not that person. I really hope that you can't go through my history and see me crapping on something like that publicly. But
yeah.
But again, I understand that in the moment. But again, this is a perfect, like, if we had your mom on to pop in, like, but this psychology, and I'll talk to the kids about it in a couple months when we do our internet, and social media stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you feel empowered. You feel anonymous. Even though your name's out there, you feel like, oh, I can just type whatever I want,
Right.
Because if we were sitting around a bar and Mike from Mike's Detail was sitting there and you were like, oh, yeah, try his. I wouldn't, in front of Mike, probably go, oh, his place is shit. I'd be like, I would just look around. So, and most of these people would, but so create just interesting. And that's just, and again, that's just a normal topic. Like, hey, can you recommend a place? Can turn into a nightmare.
Yeah. So we live close to, well, let me just say this. In some cases, people will walk around tugging on people's car doors, right? And that can be an issue anywhere, right? Anywhere you go, that can be an issue. It doesn't matter where you live, where you're from, that can be an issue. Somebody will say, here's ring camera footage. I saw this guy walking around tugging on car doors. He got into my car. Just letting you know, all of keep a look at. Someone can't help themselves. Who leaves their car unlocked? And relax. All right. I had groceries in my hands. The kids were running through the door. I just forgot to lock the car door. But people can't help themselves. And then it gets violent. Like, people cannot help themselves. It's insane.
Yeah. They like it's that. That's the thing. Like, today's from the we'll call it from the town Facebook page that shall not be named.
Yeah.
From that place, I went on there before. A friend of the show, Allison, shared a Facebook page called like the ridiculousness of town Facebook pages that Ryan went down the rabbit hole. I spent a good time looking at it. They share some of the better towns comedies up there. But I went onto the Facebook page that shouldn't be named. I will call it the zip code page. I went on the zip code page and I was like, oh, let me see. Lots of political stuff. And yeah, you won't figure it out, Monica. You
won't figure it out, Monica.
All right. I'll give you the first number. And I'm okay. Political. Okay, which political stuff is, a creature all its own.
Yeah.
Then a woman wrote, and it's funny because you would almost think it was made up, and I can't tell because I don't know the person who posted it. But the person wrote, "Hey, I've got a big container of sugar in a ceramic bowl, and it's hardened. Like, any suggestions on how I can get it loosened up and break it up?" All right. Honestly, I just literally was ready to scroll past it till I saw 57 comments.
You saw everybody.
Right. And so I was like, all right, 57 comments. Like, that's not, and then when you click on it, I think it does this, whatever the algorithm is, where it shows the top comment or the most commented, And so it was a woman saying why the heck are people so rude? Like, why couldn't you just help this woman without being rude? Yeah. And so I figured out how to read it so that I can read it in order, and then most of the comments were pour boiling water on it. And but I was like, the woman didn't want to just clean the bowl. She wanted to figure out how to reuse the sugar,
Right.
how to, she was looking for
a technique, something that was passed.
She was looking for something
similar.
Listen, if you put it in the freezer for an hour and then use a knife. But, so most people were just get boiling water and then other people were like, oh, do you know that if you're, and it was just being mean, but under the auspices of thinking they're comedians, because everyone is a comedian, oh, hey, do you know what to do when the ice cubes in my freezer have all melted? What do I do? The water in my sink is running. How do I stop it? Just being thinking they're being funny.
Yeah.
And then this one was like, why the F are, people being mean to this person,
Yeah.
And again, it was just, and I don't think the original poster ever kind of jumped back on and said, no, that's not what I wanted. Or, and again, there were some people who were like, oh, I don't think you can salvage it, but put the hot water in and then maybe it can be when it cools, you can put it out for the hummingbirds. There are people that try.
Right.
But again, we'll keep repeating it every time tonight. There's nothing I needed to say on that post.
Right.
Right. If I knew from working in a restaurant that you put it in the freezer for 45 minutes, if someone says, hey, how do I peel eggs without getting the shells, so.
Hold on, we have a comment.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm going to read it. Oh, it's a little long. Hold on.
Yeah.
So,
but I can paraphrase it because again, I had to unfollow it, which is funny. So I would stop seeing the post show up in my newsfeed, and so I unfollowed it, so I stopped seeing it. But again, every once in a while, I call it how sometimes you kind of pinch yourself to stay awake or do things. I go look at it once a week, and again, gets me upset. My blood pressure rises.
It's so simple and it's so contagious, and that's why that's why my face was like this with Tim, because I know exactly what you're talking about. You're reading it and you're just like, oh my gosh, where is this coming from? And I'm very angry now.
And again, we're going to talk about the zip code page because it's where I get most of my information. And my local town page too.
Yeah,
it's rough. But again, it's just if you take the political stuff out of it, because the political stuff is something that would happen around the dinner table if you're at a bar. It's just the idea that a woman couldn't ask about how to clean out sugar from her thing or how to get sugar over. Someone can't say where's the best Italian restaurant.
Right.
Because when someone says, where's the best Italian restaurant? I know that's the 88th time that's been asked in the last 2 months. And so somebody always has to comment,
Somebody
you can
just asked this 2 weeks
yeah,
ago or
right. You can
yesterday.
search.
Yeah.
You can search through this for like, which again you see on a lot of like education pages we follow, where people, like I follow a lot of library. I'm in a lot of library groups, and someone will go on and say, "Oh, hey, what's the best way to organize your shelf?" And somebody will be like, "Oh, somebody just asked this." Like, what like when I see that question for the 100th time this week, I go, "Okay." I keep scrolling. Like that's the thing; it keeps scrolling. Like why, why do we feel the
My
need to
sister-in-law
comment?
got kicked out of the page.
I'm sorry.
My sister-in-law got kicked out of a township.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Do you want to know why?
are you able to speak as to how she got kicked out or what she did?
Yeah, actually, she was the one that told us. So, all right. So if I remember the story correctly, they bought their new house,
Okay.
and there was a cat that was left
Uh,
there.
okay.
And I'm waiting for Monica to like comment like that's not what happened, and then I'll be like, why don't you just get? If you want drama, go on the township page. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, so Monica, okay, so they moved in the house. A cat was there, and people on the page were worried about the cat. Okay, worried about the cat, worried about it being taken care of. I think the previous owners left it behind. And again, I'm waiting for Monica to say I was wrong. Long story short, my sister-in-law responded to these comments, the posts, the comments that just get you all fired up. And I believe that some of her words were volatile
Okay.
enough to the point where she got banned from the page, which maybe it must have been horrible. Maybe the admin was having a bad day because you and I, like you just said, like you look at these comments, you're just like, can I get an admin over here? Can I get a ref? Like, can I get somebody to like slow this down so it doesn't reach 58 comments? But yeah, like people have no mercy, and it's something like things like that so simple that you're just like you don't even like some people don't even think about like the house at the corner didn't take their trash in again, or they haven't mowed their lawn in like 3 weeks. It's just like something. But again, it gets township page people. I remember I ran by the police station a couple. It was this last year already, the summer, and the secretary, the receptionist at the phone was saying that she needed to dispatch an officer over to so and so street because somebody was very upset that their neighbor was leaving trash on their lawn again. And it was one of those like small town things where it was like, yeah, I know it's not on her lawn, but if we could just drive by and see what's going on. And I think that's another thing that people, or I shouldn't say don't think about, but another thing on those township pages, like for the most part, like you said, everyone kind of knows one another or the dots are easily connected. And then I guess that's a trigger for people is, that's my cousin's place. Don't talk about my cousin like that. And then it's just like, here we go, 58 comments.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, the township people kept commenting about this cat, and she was answering saying it's all good.
Right.
The cat is all good because she took it in and kept it. They were trying to get it signed up for TNR program, and they weren't paying attention to her responses. So she flipped out, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
so
better than Mike's detail shop.
Those crazy cat people. Because sometimes when you try to do a trap and release program, last year I dealt with a woman who had trapped 3 cats, but she only released 1 of them, and she kept 2 of them. And so, like that's the kind of crazy people that. But enough about her. So I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said pronouns. Enough about that person who captures cats and has 8 of them in her house. You were talking and it made me think of something. And that was food on township Facebook pages.
Hold on, we got a comment.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that's about. Okay. don't really know what that's related to.
Oh, Tim, it's also tough seeing the drama on the zip code page than seeing those names on class rosters later. I'm sorry, I'm cracking up trying to keep info on students untainted. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Damn,
there are some last names that when they walk in and I don't know if this Tim or Monica has this experience. They don't always match up with the parents. The kids can tend to be but again, it's always tough because then you're like, okay, I'm not going to make that comment when this person's in here.
I don't want to make it to the zip code page. I don't want to be named there.
No, and that again, it's a legit fear. I do not want to make it to the zip code page. But so in my town, we had something last spring where, for teacher appreciation, they gave the township teachers a catered lunch across the 3 different schools. And again, Shanna, correct me if I say any wrong numbers. About 96 of the teachers wound up with food poisoning. They had to cancel school for 2 weeks,
Really?
or do remote. Yep.
Oh.
And then the place that the food came from was closed down for a couple of days, and it was clear that this was their fault. However it happened, this was their fault. Again, Shanna, type in, what was it called? A rhino infection? I think it was a rhino. Sorry, that's not right. A virono infection. So I'm really good with science stuff. And the drama on Facebook still to this day, because somebody will be like, hey, where's the best place to get a cheesesteak in town? And somebody like, oh, hey, Joey's. And then everyone will be like, F Joey's. Like, Joe, and like, but again, and like for the weeks following, and also, I'm sorry, 96 teachers got sick and their family members got sick because it was, however this virus was. It wasn't quite food poisoning. It was this rhino virus.
So it wasn't
thing.
ingested.
It wasn't ingested because that's the thing.
Oh,
it was some sort of viral. But
wow.
Mother's Day events and First Holy Communions. So like half, norovirus.
Oh, so they got the stomach bug thing.
Right. So this norovirus is going around. But again, so it wasn't just the school, like First Holy Communion. Anybody who over 3 days got food from them got sick.
Right.
But the next few weeks, you just like, oh, they're good people. Oh, like, that defending them, and it's craziness. And, it just makes you think about it. And we had a new restaurant open up, or luncheonette open up down the street from me. And yeah, every single time someone says, oh, hey, I went to Tom's and had a good hoagie yesterday. Somebody's got to say, yeah, I went to Tom's and the hoagie was crap. I feel like, and I'm so beyond grateful that, my restaurant closed 13 years ago. Like, because I cannot fathom living in the world of because you make mistakes. You put mayonnaise on a hoagie that's not supposed to have mayonnaise, or maybe you cook the steak a little, you make a mistake.
Yeah.
And 15 years ago, someone came in and was like, oh, the steak was a little burnt. All right, let me make you a new one, and it's on me, But now we just immediately say, you know what? I'm going on the town page. Like, it's not even like your business's page. Like, it's on the town page. So that's the thing. Like, I can't fathom these poor food places that have to deal with. Because, again, no one can just let somebody... That person who had a good steak, at Tom's down the street from me, like, why couldn't they just post that and say that? But then you get the person... Yeah, then you get the person who always has the comment, oh, wow, thank goodness I know that, So...
what is it called? Township ridiculousness?
Township ridiculousness, I think is what it's called. Town, Facebook, yeah. I'm not real sure. I
mean, the picture speaks for itself.
Right, sure. You also cannot say the word fireworks on a township Facebook page.
Oh, that's a sensitive one. So in our area, the fireworks comes up every once in a while, but what comes up every 2 or 3 months is there is a group, a huge group. I don't know who they are, what they stand for. They're gathering and they're having a good time, but they use like those Wayne's World death metal sized speakers, right?
Sure.
They all gather outside. They're over by the stadiums, and you can hear them here, and like I hear them, like it's woken me up, and it's like you hear like boom, 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 right? And then people are like, "Why aren't the police doing anything? They're back at it again." And listen, it is a nuisance. Don't get me wrong, but fireworks don't pop up as often as this car gang does. Like it happens like every 2 or 3 months for sure, and that's what really gets people amped up as in the same realm of fireworks.
Yeah, it's so interesting because yes, if I owned horses and they got spooked by the fireworks, it would annoy me. If my dogs got spooked by the fireworks, it would annoy me. But I would also understand that 4th of July was a day that I should do what I can to bring, like to bring them comfort. And again, I also understand that, I don't know, at least in my town, fireworks will exist for the next, until summer ends. Somebody is shooting off a couple fireworks each night. So yeah, it is interesting.
I don't know if people can read this.
Don't wear your grandmother's picture.
Don't wear your grandmother. Wait, what does it say?
I think it's all right. So basically, don't wear your grandmother's picture when you're stealing.
Oh yeah, only in Georgia do you wear your shirt with grandma's picture on to steal phones.
Right.
And this is out of Appling, Georgia. And this is just one of the many, many fun posts you can find in the town Facebook group Ridiculousness. It's like 16,000 followers. But hey, obviously somebody out there realized there's a market for this.
There is, yeah.
And see, angry duck. There's an aggressive duck in my front yard. It is blocking the door and I cannot leave. It bit my cat Peaches. Can ducks have rabies? I have already reported this to the police. Thank you. And hold on. Oh, no comments to follow. But everybody gets the gist of it, right? I mean,
and this pulls out like the more absurd posts. This is less about,
and they're out there, as you know.
Yeah, this is about which we don't see. Along with fireworks, something that comes up is kids ride their bikes. That is a big one on town Facebook pages. Kids ride their bikes. Kids will ride their bikes and act a fool. And every single time you do this, you wind up having the discussion in the comment sections of, "Don't post about my kid."
Oh, that I actually think about that because I got 4 of them. But go on.
Right. No, and again, and that's where it becomes. I think, and again, in the moment, if someone posts a picture of Alexis tomorrow because she was cutting through someone's backyard, all right, and someone posts the ring picture of her cutting through the backyard because she was just trying, you're gonna
kid, right?
Right. You're gonna first thing you're gonna do is talk to your kid about it and go, why, and then you might go to the person and say, hey, my daughter's going to come apologize. She shouldn't have cut through your yard. Can you take that photo down? She's going to come apologize to you. I guarantee, and I think I'm pretty sure that's what you would do. Yeah. I mean, you would probably be between you and Monica go, Jesus, that person. But again, that person put it up there because they didn't have a clue who it was. They would have called you personally if they knew who it was.
Yeah.
And again, I made up a pretty innocent thing like cutting through the backyard. But again, there's kids who throw rocks and break things. There's kids who ride their bikes and, hit cars with them. And, you get that kind of thing where then the comment section becomes good on those kids. Like they should get their butts kicked. And then people are like, hey, that's someone's kid. Don't disrespect that kid. Like it is really, it's really interesting.
Yeah, there's actually, and I think as a parent, I maybe instinctively have that mercy for other people's children. Like it's funny you say that. On our township page a couple of days ago, some kid, he was not in the right, obviously, walked up to a house and took the flag and ran off. They post the ring video, they zoom in, they freeze it, they post it all up, right? And like you just said, like the part of me is like, he's not even 15. He's probably like 12. He's at that age where you're just like really starting to make stupid decisions probably. And he didn't set it on fire. He didn't stomp on it. He picked it up and he ran with it. Again, not the right decision. He's growing up. He's at a tough age. And see, that's me right here talking about like, he's a kid. But then, of course, kids today don't care about anything. All they care about is their cell phones. And it's like, oh, everybody just calm down for a second. Like,
yeah. And again, I know that I say a lot of stuff like, just scroll past, and the internet would probably be pretty boring. We wouldn't have a podcast topic if more people just scrolled past and didn't give their 2 cents.
Yeah.
But, it is, like Tim points out, like you'll constantly see I hear a popping noise, or I think I hear gunshots. Well, yeah, you're not that far from a joint base. Or we have it, I think it's in a lot of towns, but is like, I hear sirens. Anyone know what happened?
Oh, yeah.
And again, like, and then that person gets made fun of, like, and in my mind, I'm sitting there going like, that's probably a person who's just lonely as crap. They're just sitting, or they're happily married, and that's just how their mind reacts to be
I'm
like
just curious.
And again, you get told that this device and what you and I are able to do, and have a couple people listen to us,
Yeah.
like we're told and acknowledge it's the coolest thing, but the amount of times that you sit there and you're like, you know what, dude, I cannot remember who played that actor in that movie where there was a baseball game, and I'll put on Facebook, hey guys, like what was the name of that movie where the person played that, and at least once in a while someone will be like, why don't you just Google it? I understood I could Google it. I was trying to like kind of have like the social part of this network,
conversation,
right?
Yeah.
And again, I think that's what happens sometimes with the siren person. Again, not to say that it's not annoying, like not to say that siren lady's at it again, or but at the same time, like, but then that creates the next thing is when there is an accident or a fire or something, and people are discussing people's private crap, like I don't need pictures of anyone's house on fire. Like, I don't need to see that, but there's the, amateur photographer who wants to take a picture, and like share it. And, it's very, very interesting. We had an incident in town, that became a town Facebook, issue where, a kid was hit on a bike. I'm just going to make the kid 11. He was hit on a bike, and the guy was hit and run. He was airlifted. Turned out, just a couple broken bones and nothing serious. He was up and at it. He was home, I think, even the next day.
Okay.
And honestly, if he had been probably 20, they probably would have put him in an ambulance. But because of his age, they airlifted him. They weren't sure if, and so, of course, the town Facebook page called for the lynching and destruction of this man. Like, he had a blue pickup truck with a Calvin sticker, and if you see this blue pickup truck, like kick his ass. Like, the town called for kicking his ass. The town, and then when we figured out who the kid was, I remember saying to Shanna, like, oh, hey Shanna, how when we're walking down the road and there's that kid who skateboards into the road and tries to like play chicken with cars? That's that kid. That's that's Bobby.
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, and I said it at the time, and I still mean it. Yeah, like, I would not shock me if he was playing chicken with that truck and got hit, but I don't want him to be hurt. I wish it had happened.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And he comes home from the hospital 2 days later. The town organizes on the Facebook page, welcoming him back. They have a huge parade of 100 cars. The police buy him a new bike. And, so all that the township Facebook page is for the next 3 or 4 days is, welcome home, Bobby. Look at Bobby and his new bike, and then we caught the guy. The guy's going to, and it was just that, and again, the guy who did it, didn't have a license, or there was some, that's why he ran, it sucked. I don't even know if it was a week later. To tie in with our last topic, someone posts video and some photos. I'm at the playground with my kids, and there's this group of 3 kids, and they're pushing kids off the slides, and they're saying the F word, and they're saying the FAG word, and they're saying the RET word, and they're just cursing and being horrendous, and they're just like, and when we confronted them to stop, they called us names, blah, blah, blah. And right there in the middle of it, right in the pictures and all the things, it's Bobby and his brand new bike that the town gave him.
Bobby.
And again, like it was just like, yep, we've come full circle. Bobby let us hit on a couple topics here. Like, and again, that thing where this parent who posted the video and was posting the pictures of the kids was basically like, whose kids do these belong to? They are legit. And you had video, so you heard the kids saying curse words, it wasn't just speculation. Half the comments were, those are kids. You can get sued by those, like all these laws that exist,
That's harassment.
That's harassment. How dare you? Like, like, why don't you just handle it yourself? Like, no, they just told a story of how they handled it themselves. Right. Because guess what? If you had gripped up one of those kids by the back of their neck, that would have been a whole other story. How dare you? So, so it was just that fun, like, saga to follow in town, and then we haven't heard anything more about his bike or him. And I think he got shut down. I think the cops came and talked to Bobby, but like, you got to shut this down, Bobby. You've embarrassed us. So
I was about to say, Bobby, you made us all look stupid. So
Yeah.
now we're very angry. I was just thinking to myself what you said about like advice and stuff like that. There was one morning, and I never post in the group. One morning where I'm on my way to work, and the Wawa was closed down for how they close down for like cleaning or something.
Yeah,
every
absolutely.
once in a while or inventory. You never know when it's happening. I feel they never announce it. It just happens. And I posted, I was like, hey, I posted like, hey, Morning Warriors, just so you know, the Wawa on Black Horse Pike isn't open right now. Oh, now I can't get their overpriced Red Bull. And I was like,
Yeah.
listen, I'm a morning person. And some people have that routine. Like, I have to stop at Wawa. There's no other Wawa or place on the way, whether it's the coffee or the 5, something's part of your morning routine. And that's why I did it, because I love my morning routine. And then just the feedback, and I just left it there, and I was just like, wow, people are ridiculous. Like, I thought that was a nice little township sharing moment. Let people know, maybe leave a little bit earlier if you want to go another direction, but no, people just cannot help themselves.
Yeah, no, it is fascinating, and like I said, Dr. Mom could probably speak more to why they can't just take that deep breath and say, again, if I read your post that said this is the Wawa's closed, I would say okay, right, like I absolutely, and again, and I'm super into social media and way more than I should be, but it's just
Same.
that idea that like if I go to the zip code page and the zip code page tells me, hey, trees are down around the town and there's black ice, I go, that's good to know.
Yeah,
that's it. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you for that. But the fact that someone goes, I wasn't like somebody will literally write, I wasn't planning to go in there. Okay, like you weren't going in anyway, or like
I could have just made a left. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, right.
Like
Like
stupid. Yeah.
It's just dumb. Like, and it's just this weird, like, like, and again, like I said earlier, and like, if something really, like again, if you put up a picture of some kids and like send a private message to me and say, hey, I really think you should take that down. Like, if it really bothers you, or but like just this again, like so many innocuous things that just get jumped on, and again, like if I put up something today and like Tim Murray bust my chops about it, or other or you and I but just the general idea is like on a township page, I don't know you, like I don't know you, I don't know who you are, and so when I'm saying, hey, is there any icy roads, like again, the fact that someone has to say, oh, like you can't handle driving in the, or just steer into the skid, like no, I just want so.
You didn't notice the weather was pretty crappy out there,
right? Like
like you just can't help yourselves.
It's again, it's everything. Like, oh, we're going to close school because it's snowing, and you can guarantee half the comments are going to say, "Great," and the other half are going to say, "Oh, it's nothing." Go to school. One of our closing thoughts is something, and I don't know if it's just the zip code page, but I have a feeling it's every town's Facebook page. So many members aren't in town. So for the zip code page, there are a ton of people who live in surrounding towns, and there are a ton of people who used to live in the town. And I can kind of understand if I lived in zip code till I was 28, maybe kind of joining the town to see what. But when you're living in Florida, I don't need. Right. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And again, that's the thing. If you use that, if you see the people making those comments, you're like, yep, no play. So.
Oh, I have to tell a story real quick.
Please.
I'm sorry. Because so Monica and I were getting some work done to the house, and I told you about this. Remember, he started getting he didn't finish his job on time, so we didn't think he was owed all the money. Plus, there was supplies that he didn't use that he was about to charge us for. Monica, being awesome as she is, she kept track, so we didn't pay him the amount because he was just going to pocket it. He didn't even use the supplies. Long story short, it took forever. He got a little verbally aggressive after, and this and that. And I remember my threat at the time was, listen, dude, I don't want to have to post on the township Facebook page about what happened. All right. And so I literally said that because I was like, you want to work locally, people know you, let's not do this. And So anyway, long story short, somebody posted like, "Hey, looking for so and so, like a little bit of work," and Monica was paying attention, and somebody mentioned said contractor, and this was a few months later, and somebody wrote, "Yep, already called him. He is no longer in business." Right. But I remember that was my thread. I was like, "Yo, man, if you don't back off, I'm going to have to
Right.
mention on the township Facebook page about what's going on here."
That is great. Yep. No, that's. I wonder if that's a tactic we can use with kids at some point. Oh, hey guys, listen. Like, we're gonna go. We're gonna blast you. You don't get your work done. No, probably not. Probably won't work the same way. So, township Facebook page. They should be cool. They should be neat. They should be. The worst they should be is like kind of annoying. Like, oh, this is the fifth time someone's asked about the trash. Oh, this is like,
yeah.
But it's again, it should not be. Political stuff is on there too, and I guess that's like, again, especially in the zip code pages, it's less in my town page. It still exists from time to time, but the zip code page, that it's like 70% of the posts are political, and
That's crazy.
and again, this is where, not to make it too political, and it's my eye to it, is a week ago, people were talking about Afghanistan, and they were like, "We can't leave those poor people in Afghanistan. We can't do it. We have to help them. We shouldn't be leaving these poor people in Afghanistan." And again, it's Bob Smith. He's writing, "We can't leave those poor people in Afghanistan. We've got to do something." Today, it's announced that Governor Murphy's invited refugees from Afghanistan to New Jersey. Bob Smith, with no sense of irony, with no sense of awareness. I don't want those efforts in our country. We don't need more people in this country. And it's just like, okay. And again, and that's the thing, like, it's politics, and there's tons of pages you can go to, but that breaks into our general social media topic, where there can be a post about, Shang-Chi is going to come out in movie theaters, and Spider-Man will be the trailer in front of it. And somebody in that comment section will say, "I don't need any damn immigrants in our town," or like, "What's going on in Afghanistan?"
Comes
Like,
out of nowhere.
they will just, but huh? What? Where are you? So at least they're on topic when they make up their own topic in the township Facebook page. Again, it's people. This is brand new. You used to have to go to the luncheonettes and get a coffee, or you used to have to go to the barber store, the place where they sell barbers, and sit around and talk and stuff. And there's this whole world where you can just sit and chat. And so, but I don't like it. I'll say that. I don't love it.
It's like a train.
But it gave
wreck,
us
though, right?
it gave us an hour. It gave us an hour of something to talk about.
No, and one thing, my closing thoughts, comments on the township Facebook page, and I have a teenager, so I'm always saying this to her. High school never ends. Social media, township Facebook pages are proof of that. And I'm sure somebody's going to be like, "Well, you weren't so great in high school." Okay, relax. I'll be the first person to admit that I wasn't great in high school. But the point is, you see it. It's like, I see someone, I was like, "That's my friend's mom, and she's like 60 years old, and she is getting into the fight in this comment section. Like, she is in the fight." So everybody has their opinion. Everybody's got something to say. It's fine. Township Facebook pages. We will continue to watch closely and wait for those 58 comments to come.
And my closing thought, because you can't get through a township Facebook page without a COVID reference, especially now with masks in school and COVID. So, as Ryan mentioned earlier, Shannon and I spent Wednesday. It was a long 5 days in DC, but it was quick. We did a lot. We were working. We were seeing friends. But Washington D.C., they wear masks. They wear masks inside the Targets. They wear masks inside the restaurants. They wear masks everywhere. And when we would see David's family, we saw, we had dinner with David's family at his house, or we saw some of David's friends at his house. Every time we would see someone, Shannon and I would comment like how great it was to see everybody at the show wore a mask, everybody in the stores wearing masks, everybody in the streets were wearing masks. And they would turn to us and go, like, "Yeah, there's a mask mandate. Yeah, like, yeah, you're told you have to." It was hysterical to us because we were like, we're like, yeah, we had that in South Jersey. We were told to wear masks in South Jersey. That didn't like, but it's just this idea that they were like, so matter of fact, like, well, of course they're wearing masks. We were told to, like, it is so funny because it's the opposite of like, this idea of like, yeah, they're, It was just that kind of funny aside of like whatever side you fall on with the masks. It was just this interesting thing of like, yeah, we were not running into anyone, in DC that was like, oh yeah. And again, everyone says it's annoying. I mean, I will tell you, wearing it all weekend at the show, it's annoying. I would keep, I was like the kid in school, but
I think that way too, yeah.
But again, I feel a lot, I feel pretty good about spending 5 days in a city and at a show because everyone was masked up. It's so different than just 2 weeks ago in Connecticut where maybe 20% of people were masked up, if that. But there's a lot, and again, I can go on. Get out there, people, because like you couldn't even eat outside in some of the places because they don't have enough staff to work and cover the outside shifts. Driving home last night, we had this goal. Shanna wanted to stop at the rest stops to play claw games because she wanted to win Bob Ross stars. That was her goal. And then I figured we'll pick up something at a Subway. We'll pick up something at a Wendy's. We'll grab something to eat. Chesapeake House in Maryland. The Wendy's was open, but the line was out the door because that was the only thing open. And Shanna did not succeed in winning Bob Ross. Then at the Maryland House, not one restaurant was open. Nothing was open, except for like the little store. And again, that line was out the door because people were just buying like chips and beef jerky.
Anything they get their hands on.
Anything they get their hands on. It was crazy. She was unsuccessful at that one. And then I was like, all right, the Delaware rest stop, they have a really good rest stop. Like nothing. I think maybe the Burger King was open, but at that point I was like, it's another hour to get home. I'll just eat, I'll just eat something like
there.
Right. Like, I don't need rest stop Burger King at 10 o'clock at night. And we were unsuccessful at the Skill Crane in Delaware. It was a lot of stopping. It made a 3-hour trip. But it was just crazy to see, like, I don't think this is a Sunday thing. I think this is, we can't get enough workers.
It's a thing, man. It's a thing. And I'll tell you right now, before we go on a whole nother podcast, it is a thing. Dang.
So have fun, wear your masks and have fun. And hey, listen.
If you're looking to hire, post it on the Township Facebook page.
Post it on the Township Facebook page. And tell them Ryan and Richard said, don't leave anything that's off topic. Just be supportive. Thank you, Ryan, for the show tonight.
Thank you, Richard, as always. And I think we'll see everybody next week in case, something happens. It's 2021, so you never know these days.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, all right. Yeah, next week, because then I think we'll have a Labor Day break.
Yeah, we get another bye week, yeah. So we hope everybody enjoyed the Township Facebook page podcast. It was a lot of fun, Richard, as always. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody out there, we will see you all.
And let us know if anyone comments about our podcast on the Township Facebook page.
Yeah, if you see our podcast pop up in the Township Facebook pages, you let us know right away so we can jump into the comments section.
Right.
We'll see you.